So I wasn't even on the stream. My bad, guys. All right. So what's going on? What's going on, guys? Welcome Monday, the last Monday of January 2024. Um, and the end of the first month of the year, right? Happened super fast. Still not back in my, usual setup or, back in the office because I recently moved into a new apartment. So, we still doing streams at the dining room, kitchen table. But either way it goes, that doesn't stop us from getting done what we need to get done. All right. So we're going to go ahead and dive into the charts. Last week was a pretty smooth week. Let's go ahead and put on some background action too.
If you're a business owner,
No, you gotta love the YouTube ads, man. Yeah, we're gonna put some background music, and we're gonna dive into it, man. If you guys can hear me clearly, y'all go ahead and let me know in the chat. Let me know where you guys are tuning in from today, how y'all are doing today. If you guys can hear me clearly, I'm not sure why this is not playing. Okay, I see. I see. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna change this back to the shorts, and that's just gonna be it's gonna have to keep me in the background. All right, cool, guys. So, top of the week, Monday, end of the month, so I don't really got to do too much on the monthly, weekly, or anything like that. But we're gonna go ahead and dive into some things, right? Clearly, you see I was sitting here looking at crypto. But let's start off looking at what we got coming up this week. Definitely going to be an interesting week for sure. All right, today we didn't have any high impact news whatsoever, and accordingly the markets did. Drum roll, please. Absolutely. Well, actually, we actually did get a little bit of shaky, right? We did actually get a little bit of action, but for the most part, right, the markets opened up at 103.49 and. I mean, we're pretty much still trading at the same level, but we did get some good price action here today. I guess I don't get to talk trash, right? No high impact news releases today, but we did get some good price action because price opened up and ran above the highs of last week. Okay. We actually not the highs of last week, but the highs of Friday. Okay. Yeah, we didn't run above the highs. Hold on. This was our high of last week. And we did actually go ahead and run out those highs. Okay. All right, last week's highs got ran out. And right after trading above that buy side liquidity, we saw price dump off, right? Really strong price action to the downside. Okay, this last up move that took us above that high of last week, right? This was all buying candles until we reach this high. All right, the last down candle before that is here. All right, and I see that as a key support area that price just like absolutely obliterated past. All right, and now we're seeing them start to trend below that level. All right, so this is already an area that I'm gonna be paying attention to from the 15-minute, 30-minute stance here. So we're gonna go ahead and put this to here and below. All right, but yeah, that's something that already catches my attention. The fact that price traded above last week's highs, and then we had what I like to call institutional sponsorship, right? Just very large orders coming into the market from those highs. All right, now that was all today, and we didn't even have any high impact news releases today. Okay, now looking at the rest of the week, okay, just going into Tuesday, right? Today, we're gonna have some news here during London session, right? We're gonna have the Euro CP. We're gonna have Spain CPI release, German GDP, Euro GDP for the European Union, I believe, as a whole, right? And we're gonna go ahead and get that here in this London session. Following that, we're gonna have some light some light news on US dollar at 9 a.m. Well, I'm sorry, yeah, 9 a.m. Eastern, and then some high impact consumer confidence news at 10 a.m. All right, now I tell I tell our members all the time, and I tell you guys all the time, like, yo, at the end of the day, that 10 a.m. news release, whenever there's a strong 10 a.m. news release, but there's no, strong releases any other time of the day, like even when there is an 8:30 a.m. news release and then there's going to be a 10 a.m. news release, I mean, 9 times out of 10, if you're able to, you better off wait until that 10 a.m. release, because there's going to be a lot of manipulation in price ahead of that 10 a.m. release, at which point we actually get the delivery that you're looking for. You feel me? So just like keep that in mind whenever you see these 10 a.m. releases. It's something I noticed. You can take notes of it in your own journal, see what you notice. Tomorrow afternoon, we're going to be getting CPI for Australian dollar as well. Now, this week as a whole, outside of tomorrow, is going to be crazy. Wednesday, we're going to have London session news with CPI from Germany coming in. That actually comes in New York session, 8 a.m. Then we're going to get U.S. dollar Chicago news, major news at 10 a.m. And then we're going to get U.S. dollar interest rates at 2 p.m. So, I'm just going to be real. One of two scenarios happens, right? We get nice price action going into this, and then a whole lot of manipulation we want to stay away from at 2 p.m., or the markets do absolutely nothing until Wednesday at 2 p.m. All right, now we have U.S. interest rates this week. We have Bank of England interest rates this week, and we also have U.S. dollar non-farm payroll this week, which is a major news event, right? FOMC, non-farm payroll, and CPI, all events that I consider to be, very, very, very high impact news events, right? High manipulation events. These are events that are almost marketed, like every new trader knows about NFP, knows about CPI, and knows about FOMC. And a lot of them are specifically even trying to trade those days. Like I know people who only trade those days, right? So a lot of liquidity and manipulation comes into the markets when those are in play. So I want to keep that into consideration, all right? But just going ahead and looking at the chart, hopping on the charts now. Starting off with DXY. Last week, when we started off the week, I spoke about wanting to see dollar sell off. All right. We had market outlook Monday, 9 p.m. here. All right. I spoke about seeing, going ahead and seeing price get back down into this imbalance, which, as you can see, we did go ahead and get that sell off on Tuesday, and we traded that live as well. We did get that sell off on the dollar. They went ahead and dumped down, dropped below those lows, came right above that imbalance, and then traded higher again, right? I found like I thought that was extremely suspicious. But at the end of the day, once we saw that strong bullish price action, I couldn't argue with it. Price was ready to go back, to the upside, right? So kind of curious to see, what it's been looking like since Friday, in my opinion, was that we were going to go ahead and see dollar make the run towards, the daily buy side liquidity here. And I'll go ahead and tap into that in a second, right? But I was just like, after seeing them go ahead and sweep these lows, grab that liquidity, even though they didn't go ahead and imbalance, run down all the way into this void, even on, this other chart, they didn't come to this level at all. Right, like literally just right above it. I find that to be suspicious, and I see this as liquidity that could be swept here. But at the end of the day, we can see that price did go ahead and vault higher, and sorry, I'm like analyzing while I'm explaining my thoughts from last week. But either way, we did see price go ahead and vault higher, start to show us those closers of structure trending higher. But it's just, it's very interesting, right? The way that we went ahead and swept this high. We know that we have very manipulative news releases this week with FOMC and NFP this week, which means we could be in for, more than one very, very big move in the markets, or manipulative moves in the market. So I do still have an interested eye, because the thing about the higher time frame, right? The thing about the higher time frame is that the lower time frame, you can see you can see, and this is relative, right? Lower time frame being the daily, higher time frame being the monthly, or lower time frame being the 1 hour and higher time frame being the daily, whatever the case is. All right, on a lower time frame, you can see price trending or reversing or whatever the case is. Um, but the higher time frame may not have reached a key level yet. And if the higher time frame hasn't reached its key level, even if the lower time frame, does a reversal or turns around at a specific area, I don't find it to be like I don't believe in the move until it's happening on a higher time frame. Do you get what I'm saying? So the reason I point that out is that at the end of the day, this was that higher time frame objective that I was expecting to see price deliver to. You know, just based on the this imbalance in price, to see price rebalance here, right? It's not like it's not like just a level that I drew out because it's a high, right? There's imbalance in price action there, right? We can see it on this chart, we can see it on this chart, right? We can see it on our MT4s or whatever it is that you're using. There is an imbalance in price here, and we did come down near that level, but we never rebalanced this level, right? That level was never rebalanced. On a lower time frame, we did, see price sharp, shoot up higher, come back down, respect the breaker that took us down there, right? That last up candle before the drop, right? Price traded above, respected that drop, and then took us back where? Up, and eventually with today's price action above the high of last week, but above a area of liquidity. All right, so now that we've delivered to an area of liquidity, it's interesting, right? Because from a level of liquidity, I'm expecting price to go ahead and want to pull back to an area of inefficiency in this price action. But just looking at from high to low, high to low, high to low in this price action, I don't really see any inefficiency, right? The place that I see the inefficiency is actually here. Okay, now let me back up real quick. Let's hit the monthly time frame here on dollar. Okay, so we're in a new year now, right? If you haven't already, you probably want to take some time to look at the price action, do some backtracking on the price action from last year, from last month, just do a little bit of higher time frame action. Okay, but here was the price action of last year. Okay, this was the price action of last year. Here was the low of last year. Here was the high of last year, right? So when I look at this range of last year, okay, all right, when I look at this range of last year, we recently just traded right back up to the 50% of that range of last year. Okay, here. All right, now let's go down to now here. All right, I wanted to see price respond here at this imbalance. Okay, that's an imbalance in price. You notice price always connects, all these other levels, price connects at those levels. Here, there's a gap in the volume of price, right? Because the majority of volume is in the bodies. All right, but there's no bodies here. It's only the wicks. And again, you can see it on both charts, right? It's not just on one chart, it's on two charts. All right, so that is a valid level. And I was looking to see price respond here, right? Because the rule is generally I look to see selling opportunities above this 50% and buying opportunities below this 50%. All right, now the more that I've been watching price action here at this level, we are getting some response here. All right, like on the weekly, you'll see price came up, responded here in January 15th, came up again, closed below that level last week. All right, this week we ran up to that same high from last week, and again are trading underneath that level, right? If we put that level here, the high of that level here on the monthly time frame, the number would be 103.51, right? and we look at 103.51 here multiple times on the weekly time frame, they've respected that 103.51. All right, over here we have a engulfed candle, right? This candle was massively bigger than this one. And for some other reasons, right, I'm paying attention to that, but the 50% of that candle was really, oddly enough, right at that same level from the monthly, and we've just been seeing price struggle here. So I was expecting that here is where we would see the turnaround, but I also took into my mind that right above the equilibrium, deeper into premium, we have this high of December, right? And we know that the highs of a month and the lows of a month, the highs of a day and the lows of the day, right? The highs of these things are really key levels. So I'm not surprised, if price wants to run up here, right? To think that, to anticipate price wanting to run up here. The question is just, how is it going to happen? And so that's why last week we were looking to see price trade down to this imbalance, okay? We wanted to see price trade to that imbalance and then see price go ahead and launch from there to this buy side liquidity. There's two ways that I can look at it going into this week. Currently, I do not have a specified, direction on DXY. I'm paying attention. After seeing the price action from today, I'm more likely to be a seller as we go down on the lower time frames. That's ahead of FOMC at least. You feel me? And I'm gonna show you guys why. But at the end of the day, I was expecting to see price come here, and there's one of two ways I could look at it, right? One way being that, okay, price came pretty darn close, right? Even though they didn't come to this imbalance, right? They did come into all of this inefficient price action, and then we saw price go ahead and vault higher. So that is something that I definitely took into account, and definitely that I'm paying attention to. And then just looking at this range from last week, because all of last week was basically was basically a consolidation. When you look at this range from last week, from the high, down to the low, and I just take, pay attention here to, right, this candle and this candle here, right? These two candles here, all right, I'm paying attention to here, all right? If price doesn't hold at these two levels here for dollar, then I'll definitely be looking at seeing them come down to the imbalance. All right, so that's just something that's the first thing that I have in mind there. All right, but going down to the 1 hour, let me actually keep that level on the chart. Here on the 4 hour, we have that last down candle there. Cool. So yeah, going down to this 1 hour. And this was our other level right here. Cool. So check this out, right? So after seeing price go ahead and run up above these highs of last week right here, and we're having this strong displacement as of right now on DXY, I want to see them run out these lows, okay, at least the low here from Friday, daily sell side. All right, let's take a look at today's price. Cool. Yeah, so here during this London session, I'm gonna give two ways that I could potentially see this going, right? For one, I'm gonna look at this level here, 103.30. Okay, this is the high of this candle over here. And then going down to the 1 hour, it's also the high of this last down candle here before price, accelerated, higher in the first place. Right, boom, right, in the same level. So I'm going to be looking at this 103.30 level. We're going to see how Asian session goes, right? Asian session has one of two characteristics. Either it's going to trend. I mean, everything has one of two characteristics. But when Asian session trends, what is this extra block that just popped up? Okay. Let's get rid of this. All right. Yeah, Asian session has one of two, major, characteristics that we're going to look at, and that's if Asian session consolidates, right, above these levels, right, above this level specifically that I'm looking at. Let's say Asian session stays inside of a range like this one here. Okay. Then for London session, if I trade London, if you're not, then during New York, I would just be looking to see this get validated, right? I would just be looking to see this validated if I was not trading London. When I come to New York, I would just look to see that this happened, right? When Asian session consolidates above a key level like this, in overall bullish price action, it's consolidating right now, but it's overall bullish price action, then what I would expect to see after this consolidation, right, would be some type of fake out to the downside, right, taking us into this key level, and that would be our low of the day set in right there. Then going into New York session, we would see price expand, and in New York session, I would be looking to see, right, this move right here. Okay, that's what I'll be looking to see if price consolidates above this level here, during New York session today. I'm not during New York session, ahead of New York session today. And if I go ahead and boom, right, we're sitting right below the weekly open. All right, this would be smooth. Okay, so that's what I would look to see here on DXY. Would be to see them go ahead and consolidate here in Asian session, or see us get down and respect this level, and either London session see some type of expansion away from that level, and then coming into this New York, we can trade the reversal, taking us, or the lower time frame reversal, but the continuation to take us continued towards December highs. All right, now if New York session comes, and Asian session has already made this type of move, right? Say Asian session has already came down to this low, and started to trade higher, and London session already taking us higher, then I'll have to reevaluate, and see what levels have been respected, what levels have been hit, because it's very possible that, again, like I said, I'm still keeping my mind aware about this imbalance down here that we're targeting. Okay, we've been paying attention to this for a while, and we have a low here set in. Actually, the low of last week here. All right. So if we see price, already hit a level like this and trade higher ahead of New York session, we're gonna want to be paying attention to that, because this potentially could actually be what takes us down lower to that level, right? Like I said, I don't take moves like this for granted, right? This is, strong, like we traded above a key level here, and then we saw price dump, right? Dump, take us down. So I'm paying attention, right? But generally, Monday, Tuesday, we expect manipulation, right? So I'm hoping that this is just manipulation of price, take us down into, ideally to see them respect this order block, right? Maybe see a wick down, right, into this sell side, but still respecting this order block. That would be perfect. Anything like that, I'm gonna be, a believer in dollar buys to the December highs, right? Now, any respect of this level, right? Any respect of this level, or price, breaking down further than here, then I'm going to be going ahead and aiming for that sell side. All right, so that's how it is sometimes, right? With trading, is you don't have a definite of what's going to happen. You have a, if this happens, then this, if this, then this, right? So that's my thoughts on DXY, and based off that, I'll frame everything else. Looking at dollar continuing to be bullish, we've had for the past week, euro sells have been nice because euro has just getting weaker and weaker the whole year. Euro has just been dumping off, and it doesn't seem like she's ready to stop yet. Okay, we have the lows here of 2023 on euro GBP that look like they look like they're about to get hit. Okay, so I see euro continuing to the downside, which means that if we're looking to buy dollar, we're going to continue looking for opportunities here on euro to sell from. Okay, now here on the weekly for euro, we were looking to see her respect this up candle, this last up candle over here. The beginning of the year, right? That last week, in the beginning of the year. And as we can see, they actually traded up to the halfway and then sold off from that candle. Okay, now, why is that important, Maverick? It's a great question. It means that this key level is being respected, first of all right? Now, when from there we saw price trade down, we still have not reached this sell side liquidity, which is the daily sell side. The daily sell side and the sell side, the lows of December. Okay. Now, if I'm targeting the highs on dollar of the highs of December on dollar, then I'll be targeting the lows of December on euro, right, on the foreign currencies, right, on opposing currencies. So yeah, I do want to see, as we get that bullish dollar, I want to see a bullish euro. Yes, that would mean you could look for bullish pound, but just compare the pound to the euro, right? If you're gonna sell something right now, the euro is the thing to sell, guys. Like, that's just what it is. Like, I don't make the rules, okay? AU also, has a little bit of bearishness to it right now. AUD CAD's been selling her life away. If there's something to buy, it's USD JPY. So we'll take a look at her. All right, but for right now, yeah, that's what I want to see on euro. I want to see these continued sell-offs. Feel like all right, there you go. All right, so okay. Looking at that range of last week. Friday's high looks like what we should be paying attention to. Okay. So I'm gonna take into account this sell side over here. This buy side, I'm sorry. That's the high of Friday. Euro did just trade down to a to a key level here, right? This last down candle before price reversed and traded higher. Okay, we see that as a support level. We saw Euro just go ahead and launch below that. All right, drop down below the lows of Tuesday, the lows of Thursday, the lows of Friday, right? So we saw price just now, today, go ahead and drop down below these lows, hit that key level and, you know, accelerate higher, right? Interesting. So price is going ahead and trading higher. I don't know if I see Euro going ahead and taking those highs before the sell off, but we're gonna see. Okay. All right. The second level we're gonna pay attention to, we got this high of yesterday. Okay, so depending on when we trade there, we'll be able to pay attention to that as well. I'm really in it right now, huh? What's going on? What's going on? Can y'all hear me? So yes. Yeah, so here on Euro, I'm gonna put an alert up here, 108.50. All right, and then we're gonna pay attention to that level. All right, so I mean, ideally, if Euro doesn't trend during Asian, you know, again, same thing, you know, some sort of consolidation here below this level. See them go ahead and take a dash up above it, and then pay attention from there. Yeah, that's the most I can say right now. Okay. We had this high of the week last week to this low of the week here. We saw price go ahead and trade up, okay, back up into premium, right? Attack premium prices, respect this fair value gap, right? They respected this last down candle here, all right? And we saw them go ahead and sell off on Friday. Okay, so I'm kind of right now just looking at this range from Friday is what I'm paying attention to. This range from Friday. We look at this range from Friday, and this high of Monday is right above, up in that premium of the range from Friday. Okay, so just depending on how, you know, what time it is when we get up here, that'll determine if I believe we're in position. Same thing for dollar, right? The same time Euro is getting up there, if they're trading here, dollar, right, or just taking a dip below here and taking and heading up higher from there, then yeah, I'll be looking for sells on Euro at that level. All right, so that's what I got on Euro. I think we can take a gander here at USD JPY. Yeah, USD JPY, I've been trying, man, you know, at this imbalance. But USD JPY got a little ways to go. USD JPY is already traded above the highs of December, so we can't even really look at that. But we have the highs of 2023 and the highs of 2022 in the same exact place on USD JPY. Go freaking figure. Okay, so we got like monthly buy side liquidity up there. All right. That's a lot of buy side liquidity, and we're really close to it. So I have a feeling USD JPY wants to get up there very, very quickly. What do you guys think? Okay. second. We gotta make sure that our laptop doesn't die. That's how we're getting all this stuff right now. Okay, so yeah, here's what we're gonna be paying attention to here on USDJPY. Got some nice highs over here on USDJPY. It looks like a nice double top. And we can keep our eyes on highs of last week as well. Highs of last week and the week before, actually. All right, so highs of last week and the week before that we can pay attention to here. We got the low of last week right here. And again, this entire level is a daily fair value gap that we've been targeting. Right below it, we have the 50% of that fair value gap. Oh yeah, we're gonna just call it 146.50. All right, so 146.50 is the level we're gonna keep our eye on here for USDJPY. Right there. All right, that's where we're gonna keep our eyes on. Yeah, so that's what I'm looking at here. I mean, on average, USDJPY the past few days been moving pretty smooth, about 103 pips, and that's like like only in total, like in where it opened to closed, right? A high to low. That's not including all the movement inside of it. We've had some pretty big ranges on USDJPY. I mean, 175 here, and that's last Tuesday, 175. No, last Wednesday, last Tuesday here, and that's another 170, right? The day before that, last Monday, another 70, right? So yeah, we've had some pretty big ranges here on UJ the past couple of weeks. So we could expect to see them drop down to that level. And we'll pay attention. That's crazy. And we'll pay attention to this this high over here. And that's what we'll keep our eye on here. Okay, so yeah, that's what we're gonna look for here. This week's open was where here, so we're trading below the weekly open. This is This is nice. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna be paying attention to here on USDJPY. Mm-hmm. As far as the indices go this week, man, I mean they're continuing to bust all time highs. You wouldn't bet against these. It doesn't matter how bearish I am on dollar. What I can say is that not bearish. No matter how bullish I am on dollar, what I can say though is that if for some reason I, like I said, I'm incorrect, or I believe dollar's actually gonna go bearish, and these levels get broken, I'll look. I'm fully on board with gold buys, indice buys, 100%. You feel me? As long as dollar's weak, I'm down to buy them. But if DXY is ready to go ahead and moon, definitely being aware of that. You feel me? Especially with the price action we have here from January. So definitely, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up right there. I think that was some good, good ideas for us to look at. Just keeping our eye on the DXY, like I said, UJ and Euro is really where my attention is. I mean, yeah, this was a nasty USD CAD we had on the live session last week. Yeah, like, and I only had it mapped out for 1 to 7. It ended up going, ridiculous. That was an amazing opportunity, but nah, we was just going for the lows here, on that opportunity. But yeah, so yeah, man. Hope that you guys got some value. Learned something. As we just did the weekly analysis, weekly prep. For anybody who is a part of the family, part of the guild, a member of the guild, we're gonna go live for New York live session tomorrow, 9:30 a.m. So see you guys there, and see you guys again next week for our next market outlook. You feel me? I might find a new name for the market outlooks, but for right now, for our next market outlook, you feel me? Peace.